Beginning. The fire struggled to stay alive. Ethan Cole crouched low, shielding the flame with his hands as the wind cut through the ravine like a living thing. The sky above the alien world, cataloged by survey drones as Kepler, 186F Outpost Theta, was bruised purple and orange, swollen with unfamiliar constellations. None of them meant anything to him anymore. Earth was 3 jumps away, and the jump gate was gone. The storm earlier that day had wiped out his beacon. Ethan stared at the slab of raw meat skewered on a jagged metal rod. It wasn't a rod he'd brought with him. He found it half buried in the ash soil near the ruins. Long, narrow, and impossibly intact. A spear by the look of it. Ancient, but not primitive. Its surface was dark, almost obsidian, etched with symbols that caught the firelight and reflected it in strange, shifting patterns. He hadn't questioned it much. Hunger stripped philosophy from a man. He turned the spear slowly over the flame, watching the fat drip and hiss. His hands trembled, not from fear but exhaustion. He had been stranded for 9 days now. 9 days of silence, so complete it rang in his skull. The last transmission from command still echoed in his head. Hold position. Rescue inbound. Rescue never came. The ruins loomed behind him. Massive stone arcs half swallowed by the ground, arranged in a circle too deliberate to be natural. No signs of life. No heat signatures. No power readings. Just dead stone and old shadows. That was what unsettled him most. Civilizations didn't just disappear. The meat began to brown. Ethan leaned closer, inhaling the scent. Protein. Survival. Another night bought. Then the fire dimmed. Not flickered, dimmed. As if something had reached out and turned the world's brightness down a notch. Ethan froze. A pressure crept across his spine, cold and precise. The kind of sensation prey felt when eyes locked onto it from the dark. He did not turn around. He didn't breathe. Then the voice came. Not loud. Not angry. Measured. Ancient. You use a relic of judgment as a tool of hunger. Ethan's heart slammed so hard it hurt. The voice was behind him, close enough that he could feel vibration in the air, yet not close enough to hear breath. He swallowed. Who's there? Silence stretched, heavy and deliberate. Then, your species has been marked. The words landed like a physical blow. Ethan spun, spear raised, and found nothing. The ruins stood unchanged. The fire crackled back to life as if nothing had happened. The wind resumed its steady howl through stone. No figure, no shadow, no movement, just the spear in his hands, now warm in a way fire could not explain. Symbols along its shaft glowed faintly. Ethan dropped it. The spear struck the ground and embedded itself several inches deep, far deeper than its weight should allow. His breathing came fast now. This isn't real, he muttered. Dehydration, stress. But the glow didn't fade, and something deep beneath the ground stirred. Middle. That night, Ethan dreamed of cities burning beneath unfamiliar skies. He saw towering figures of light descending from orbit, their forms fractal and shifting, wielding weapons that bent reality rather than shattered it. He saw planets silenced in minutes, their populations catalogued and erased with surgical indifference. And always he saw the spear, embedded in the ground at the center of every ruin. When he awoke, the ruins around him were humming. Ethan scrambled to his feet, scanning the area. The symbols carved into the stone arches glowed with the same faint light as the spear. Lines of energy traced themselves across the ground, forming concentric rings that pulsed like a heartbeat. The spear lay where he had dropped it, waiting. Against every instinct screaming at him to run, Ethan approached it. The moment his fingers closed around the shaft, the world fell away. He stood somewhere else. The sky was black, not empty, but crowded with enormous constructs floating in perfect formation. Below him stretched a vast chamber, its floor a mirror reflecting galaxies that should not have existed. A figure emerged from the darkness ahead. Not humanoid, but not alien in the way Ethan expected. It was tall, composed of layered light and shadow, its shape constantly reconfiguring as if reality struggled to define it. "I am the arbiter of continuance," it said, "and you stand at the threshold of your species' evaluation." Ethan's voice shook. Evaluation for what? The arbiter extended one limb, and visions exploded into Ethan's mind. Humanity's history unfolded, not as Ethan remembered it, but stripped of justification. Wars, exploitation, the slow poisoning of planets, the expansion into space not as explorers, but as consumers. "Your kind has reached the interstellar inflection," the arbiter said. "At this stage, civilizations are measured. Those that fail are called to prevent systemic collapse." Ethan staggered. "You're talking about genocide." "Correction," the arbiter replied calmly. "We're talking about pruning." The spear materialized in Ethan's hands. "This relic is a marker," the arbiter continued. "When activated by a sentient of a candidate species, it signals readiness for judgment." Ethan's mind raced. "I didn't activate anything. I was just trying to eat." The arbiter regarded him for a long moment. "Intent is irrelevant. Action has consequence." The chamber shifted. New images appeared. Human colonies, unaware, go about their lives. "Your species will be evaluated within one cycle," the arbiter said. "Survival probability, minimal." Ethan clenched his fists. "There has to be another way." The arbiter tilted its head. "There is one variable," it said. "An anomaly." A new image formed. Ethan himself. "You," the arbiter said. "A single representative may challenge the verdict. Not with words, with demonstration." Demonstration of what? Capacity for transcendence over instinct. The spear pulsed. "You will be observed. Your choices will weigh against your species." The chamber shattered into light, and Ethan was back in the ruins, gasping, clutching the spear. The hum faded. The symbols dimmed. The evaluation had begun. Over the following days, Ethan was tested, not with enemies, but with temptation. He encountered abandoned alien technology capable of restoring his beacon, at the cost of destabilizing the region's ecosystem. He was offered visions of rescue if he would claim dominion over dormant systems designed to enslave lesser species. Each time, the spear reacted. When he acted in self-interest, it grew heavier. When he chose restraint, it lightened. Slowly, Ethan understood. This wasn't about perfection. It was about choice. On the seventh day, the arbiter returned. The sky split open, revealing the massive constructs descending once more. "The cycle concludes," the arbiter said. "Your species trends toward termination." Ethan stepped forward, spear in hand. "Then judge us for what we can become." He drove the spear into the ground, not as a weapon, but as an anchor. Energy erupted outward, not destructive, but harmonizing. The ruins lit fully, revealing themselves not as monuments of conquest, but sanctuaries built by a species that had passed the test long ago. They had left the spear behind, as a chance, ending. The constructs halted. For the first time, the arbiter hesitated. "You reject dominion," it said. "You reject survival at the cost of others." Ethan nodded. "If we survive by becoming monsters, we don't deserve to." Silence stretched across the sky. Then the constructs began to withdraw. "Evaluation amended," the arbiter said. "Your species will be spared, observed, guided if they listen." The spear dissolved into light, its purpose fulfilled. Ethan collapsed to his knees as the energy faded. Days later, a human rescue vessel broke atmosphere. They found Ethan alive. They found the ruins inert. It never found the spear. But across human space, subtle changes began. Dreams, ideas, a quiet sense that humanity was being watched, not as prey, but as a student on probation. And somewhere beyond known space, a record was updated. Species, human. Status, marked but not condemned. For now.